All right, so good evening. Welcome to the Enosburgh Selectboard meeting. It's June 3rd and it's 6:25 and we have the following people present. So to my right,
Jessica Eagles.
to my left,
Phil Robtoy.
I'm Peter Letourneau. And on the agenda, we've got the director of the ambulance service and our road foreman, Joey Clark. So, anything else that we know of that might be coming up or subject to change?
No.
So with that being said, welcome. And Garrett is here as our ambulance director, and they can introduce themselves and
Come on up.
Oh, come on. You're not that scary.
put the camera on her for a minute.
What's the agenda for tonight?
I'll take an extra one just for.
Actually, I got a couple of them here.
Okay.
Right behind me.
Oh,
Very, very.
Alright, I got a few things to go over with you guys tonight. But it should be fairly quick. Alright. So to start for tonight, I've just got a few service updates for the agenda. Number one being the employee updates. We have an employee that hopefully will be returning, who has been out on leave of absence for a period of time from an injury. And I received update from them that they're hopeful to return in the next 2 weeks, which is great word. He's doing very well.
Yeah, I saw him today.
Yeah, looks great.
Yeah.
So we're very excited to have him back. Contingent this week, he's being evaluated by his provider. So as long as everything goes okay this week, we're hopeful he'll return next week. Community events, we just had June Dairy Days, which was a success. There was a great turnout. We had the tent set up in the park, a lot of interest. We gave out a lot of different items to kids, and everybody seemed to ask great questions and really kind of engage with the ambulance service and the community members. So it was great to see everybody
Pick up
there.
any volunteers or anybody that wants to join or anything like that?
Join the service?
Yeah.
There was a couple people that did ask about it.
Oh, good.
Actually, that brings me to my last item
Oh,
there.
sorry.
That's okay. There was a few people that seemed interested and were asking good questions about it.
Yeah.
So there definitely seems to be some interest in
Good.
what the service is doing and how things are going with everybody. We have an event coming up in Franklin at the end of this month. It is the race around the lake, the kind of mini triathlon they do in Franklin around Lake Carmi. So we'll have a crew set up for that. They love to see us up there, and we like to engage with everybody up there. So we're excited to do that again this year.
you know when that is?
It is the last week. I'm not sure the exact date, the weekend.
The 28th, I think.
That last Saturday, 29th.
29th.
So we'll have a crew there for that. And then July is when they do the pontoon boat relay race.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be right after the 4th of July. So we'll have a crew there for that. What's that?
Is it the 6th?
Yes, I believe so. Yep. So that's for community events.
And you'll be there for the pontoon race.
We'll have a crew there,
Yeah.
Yep, we'll have a crew there for that.
Okay.
New ambulance delivery. I touched base with Northeastern, and we're expected to receive the ambulance next Wednesday. It'll be delivered. They're basically working on everything is installed on the inside of the ambulance. Now they're dealing with the decaling and lettering. So we're hopeful to have that delivered on Wednesday. They have asked if they could use the ambulance for the EMS conference that's happening in Jay. If you guys are familiar with it, it's kind of one of the last EMS conferences they're doing. Braun has asked if they could use our ambulance. Demers has asked if they could use our ambulance as a kind of showpiece
Prototype.
Yeah.
for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Robert.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, Robert told me. He was like, nope, can't have it yet.
all the monitors, radios, that stuff all has to be put in too, right?
Correct. Yep. Yeah, so basically it would be displayed, but it would be displayed as kind of an empty inside. So no equipment would be in it, maybe the stretcher. We have already received the stretcher, but everything else hasn't been received yet. So it'll be kind of an empty thing for them.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's the update with the new ambulance. Before I touch on item number 2, Billy, who is our training officer, our full-time training officer, he's a paramedic. He's looking to actually host 2 classes, one being an 8 EMT class, an advanced emergency medical technician class, and the second being a regular EMT class. He is an IC, which is an instructor coordinator, so he is certified to teach classes. He has asked if the service would be willing to sponsor the class. So essentially what that means is the course would be run by Enosburgh with Billy as the lead instructor. There would be an expenditure, which I've outlined here, for the cost to host the class, but there would also be a revenue aspect to it as well. So an 8 EMT class is roughly 120 hours of course material, course didactic. The cost to conduct the course, he's looking to do approximately 10 students. He has received interest for more. So a few months ago, Billy put out a survey to all EMS providers in our area to see who was interested in taking a class. And he got a lot of interest for doing an 8 EMT class, and then also a bunch of interest for doing an EMT class. So he's looking to do a minimum of 10 students per class. The expense for the class would be his regularly hourly rate as an instructor, which is his regular hourly rate that he does here for the service. That would be a total of 80 hours. Books and materials would be $4,000. That's for 10 students. Instructor and materials would be $2,400. And then this is the going rate to charge students.
Per student?
Per student, correct. Yep. So an EMT course, this is the average rate going on in Vermont, is $1,200 for an EMT student and $1,400 for an 8 EMT student. And this is a breakdown based on 10 students for each class. So income for an EMT class would be $12,000 for students, an 8 EMT would be $14,000, and your net for both would be $5,600 for an EMT and $7,000 for an 8 EMT.
And that expense right there, that covers the instructor's fees?
Correct.
Bingo.
Yep, exactly. And the bonus to the students, the state, there's a lot of funding out there right now for students to get their courses paid for. There's a big initiative right now for training in EMS in the state of Vermont. So basically, any student that signs up for a course is covered by the state EMS office to cover the expense. So good thing going for him right now. But he is looking for approval from the board to host the classes with Enosburgh. So he asked that I present it to you guys to see if there's interest to do so. We don't have an exact date as to when this would happen. This is basically the beginning steps because we would have to submit the application to the state EMS office for approval before courses could be hosted.
So would they actually get certified?
Yep.
Like that?
Yep.
Like, okay, so they would do all their practical and
Yep.
everything. Okay.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And that's just, you said that could be more. That's just minimum.
Especially I like
10
the
people.
the income.
Correct.
Right.
Yep. What's that?
I like the income part.
Yeah. That is nice.
Because the expense, 60,
Right.
64.
And the thing around here, there's not a lot of classes that are going on in Vermont for EMT and 8 EMT courses. We do have, Fairfax has been really good about hosting a class. They usually do about 2 classes a year, and Newport does 1 to 2 classes a year. But aside from that, there's not really a lot of classes going on. So it's good to have, more availability for students that are looking, especially those coming out of high school that are looking for a career opportunity. This is a big thing.
What is he looking at for like 1 day a week?
No.
So 2 days a week.
2 days a week?
Yep. 2 nights.
Oh, that'd be good.
What we're looking into is actually doing, so it'd be like a Monday, Wednesday to do the EMT class, and a Tuesday, Thursday to do the 8 EMT class.
Like a few hours a block
Yep.
at night or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll take a while to get that done in 120
Mhm.
hours. So.
Yeah, EMT classes usually are about 3 to 4 months if you do it 2 classes per night or 2 classes per week. AEMT's a little longer. It's usually about 4 to 5 months to get that done.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't have any issues.
Any questions about it? We do have most of the supplies required, so like training supplies required to be used. We have an IV arm already, which is that's kind of your bigger expense for like the AEMT level. They have to be able to do practicals to do an IV and that type of stuff. So the one thing we do have going for us is that we have most of what we need for training supply wise to use. It would just be the course material, the books, and the software.
Do they have to like pay before the class begin? Like they don't sign up and say, oh, like I can't make it or I don't want to do the class anymore. Like is there some sort of like a requirement for an
Pay before.
application? Pay.
Each service you do is a little different. So like the courses I've worked with at other services, one of them allowed you to pay. You had to be paid halfway through the class.
Oh, okay.
Or you didn't receive your reimbursement back.
Okay.
We can play it however you guys want. Honestly, if you guys would rather have them pay in full before the
Well, I'm
class
just
starts.
I'm just wondering if you get your 10 people and you get all your
Right.
instructors
How does it
and
work
then
with the state assisting though?
So that's the hold. Is the
They
state
need
can
to
be
probably
slow
passed.
to pay.
They probably
Yeah.
have to pass the class also before the state will pay, right?
No.
Nope.
No?
Nope. The slow part with the state is actually receiving the money from the state.
Yeah.
That's the slow part. But typically what happens is so when they want to sign up for a class, so this course would go up online on the state EMS website. And then the student would go in and click, I want to take this class. And then they go through an application process to get it covered by the state. And then they would receive a notice from the state to say, yep, we're going to cover the expense for you. So at least we would have that to say, yep, the state's going to cover the expense. It just may take a month to get the money from the state.
And the thing is too, is I mean, we can always ask for a portion of up front, that way there's a commitment. Because it's
We'll at
one
least
of,
cover our cost.
yeah.
well,
You
it's,
know,
and then that way,
You're half of it.
it's one of those of, once they're committed, it's, they don't get that money back until, and they can still fill out the application with the state, it's just,
Yeah. I
Double.
think it's great. I think I think you're gonna get a lot of interest for sure.
Yeah.
so we need a motion.
We will have to work out kind of the refund policy of things, if there is a refund at all. If a student gets like, I don't know, a third of the way through the class and then is like, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I
Do
was
we
wondering
do a
about that.
refund or do we? I'm fine with it either way.
I mean,
That, I think we
maybe
can,
just charge them for what the time that they've
no,
used.
Like prorated.
no. Because the hardest part on that, and that is that you've already bought the books and everything like that, so it's like you're already into it, it's either you're all
Like,
in or you're all out.
It's any oth- in any other school they pay for the semester even if they don't.
Yep,
College,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
I mean,
Kids
it
going
is.
through
It
college.
might be good to just say that right up front, like like this is
You're
a
not gonna
commitment.
get, like, yeah, once you
Yeah.
commit, you're committed.
yep,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not necessarily committed, you can leave, but your money's committed.
Right.
right,
Just because of the spot and
Yeah,
you
that
know.
probably sounds like a good idea, that way it keep people interested too, really.
yep.
Perfect. Yeah, I can make. Do you need a motion, Pierre?
I might as well, yeah, that way we'll just have at least,
Were you starting one, Phil? I think no. Okay, so I will go ahead and make a motion to have Garrett give the okay for the 2 courses for the EMT and EMT course from our training officer.
I'll second.
alright. You've heard the motion, all those in favor signify by saying aye,
Aye.
all those opposed, so passed, so cool.
There you go.
Good.
Teach your
We'll
way.
draft up the paperwork, and once the paperwork's finalized, I will bring that to you guys. At least so you have a copy of
That
it.
way, and fine tune,
Yep.
yep, but at least this gives you a chance to get it
Get the
going.
process going.
Yep,
Yep, exactly. Yeah, because it takes a little bit.
yep,
Oh, excuse me.
All right, perfect, awesome. That's exciting.
Well, if you can keep rolling money over like that, maybe we should do these more often.
So, funny you
Well, they
mention
could
that.
become a. I mean, they could become a
Well,
thing if you have
Yeah.
yearly
so the past
classes.
2 days, well, today and tomorrow, I'm the grant course that's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So that's today, and the second part of the class is tomorrow, and there's a lot of information coming out of that, which I'll share with you guys once it's done. But
I bet it was
Yeah.
a good class though.
amazing.
Yeah.
It'll make it better, easier for you to find grants and
Just how to apply it, everything, how to find them, how to apply for them, how to get yourself set up for everything. Like,
That's awesome.
the guy's amazing. Yeah, highly recommend it.
We're gonna wanna go into executive on the next item,
Yeah, probably. Yep.
okay?
I'll make a motion, sure?
Okay, so,
Need a motion?
yeah, need a motion to come back out of executive session.
I'll move to commence the executive session.
Second motion.
The gentleman that just made that motion is Larry Jarvis,
Second.
and, from there, we have Jesse Woods also in attendance. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And Billy Joe, our town clerk person, has joined us.
Were you in line in front of us?
I was behind you.
Oh,
So as
and I kept talking.
per the executive session, we've decided to hire a full-time person to fill a vacancy, and that individual will be notified within the next day or so. We probably want a motion on that. Or, so, with that being said,
I can make a motion, to continue with the hiring of this new individual for this position.
A second.
okay, so you've heard the motion, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We're good on that. The other topic that came up through the process of the executive session was medical course. We've already talked about that before.
No, it was the,
Oh, just this
yeah,
You see,
was
payment schedule for the
payment schedule for our third ambulance, and it's been reviewed. We're looking at 6 years and 7 years. The difference in price is about, actually it's about only 4,000
are you,
a year.
Yeah. The total is only $4,000 difference.
Somewhere's in,
241 versus 237.
oh, I was looking at these.
Yeah, I know, but
So 240, okay, so it's almost,
if it's only $4,000 more,
4,000, yeah,
where's it
4,000.
go 7?
what is our wish on that? Might as well wait.
Salmon Central with the Monday night test home for Enosburgh Fire. Again, this is Salmon Central with the Monday night test home for Enosburgh Fire. Central clear, 929.
For 6 years, we're looking at 237,977.62, or else the amount of 241,681.40. That would make it for 7 years. What is our wishes?
I would go with the longer term if we can, if that
And
seems.
add to it if you need to, put a little extra on, if you could, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna pay a little more interest, but
That work?
All
right.
I think it's our only option with the others. You're gonna be refurbishing the other one, you're gonna be coming up with some more big payments, and hopefully with 3, the longevity will stretch to absorb the payments. So the life of the unit will still be valuable at 7 years versus 2. And like you said, if we got some years where we get a lot of extra money, we can always make a separate payment.
right.
Because if you add to the payment, they just put it towards interest. You wanna put
Right.
a separate
Unless you-
payment,
unless
principal
you-
only.
Right, unless you specify
That's a
principal.
good point, correct.
So I have a motion on that?
I made a motion on a 7-year plan, payment plan.
I'll second it.
All right, so for the new Brougham, Demers, ambulance at 7 years with final payment at May 21st, 2031. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved. Joey coming in?
He's still,
He was behind me,
Okay. All right,
but I was politicking.
oh, thanks, Garrett.
Thank you guys.
so thank you.
Appreciate it. So the new ambulance will be here next week. If anybody's interested in come see it.
Yeah.
Couldn't too
How did
bad
it go?
you
Good.
get it great, huh?
I know, I was hopeful.
I think you had my nephew in one of the ambulances yesterday.
Yep.
For a call?
For the milk run.
Oh, for a milk run? Yeah. Sounded like there was a good turnout.
They ran too fast. Dehydrated himself.
Oh, no.
I saw the Rob Toy kids that came in first, second, and third.
Phil's niece
My
and
niece
that,
and
nieces and that.
They're great nieces. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, second, and third.
Oh, that was
That was
you.
impressive.
That is
Mark?
pretty cool. That
Mark
was-
Lawyer?
No, that was your guy that, your brother or something? No.
Was that,
Graduated.
there's no age group to that? That's,
They graduated?
they actually
No,
came
no,
first,
but
second,
they
third.
came
Yeah.
graduated.
Dehydrated
From
was
running.
I was wondering
not-
if
A
that
year,
was
2 years
Well,
back.
my nephew,
Brother.
their father is he
Yeah.
used to do the color runs and all that
Oh, yeah.
crazy stuff.
I guess
Track and all that.
Well, they
Mark
do
was
that.
right up.
That,
near the
when
beginning.
The obstacle
He'd been
course.
training
Yeah.
too, but not in.
I don't know.
They get all
Got
muddy.
75
and
years,
stuff,
yeah.
and
The
That's what they do,
Tough
yes.
mudder.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Spartan, yeah, they do the
Or the
Spartan.
Spartan, yeah.
Very good, thank you.
Cool. Thank you guys.
Yep.
We got a minute?
Have a good one.
I do have minutes, and I need some signatures on here, it's first few pages. Opening a different account at People's Trust for the HSA accounts, health savings accounts, and moving it from TD over. So just, wherever your name is, don't be throwing it away.
That's right.
Well, I'm so used to having the chair or co-chair go first.
Let me
Let's see.
see, I have one here.
I don't see one
I think yours is
Oh, down here.
on.
This one. No, I don't think so.
You're on the other page.
Okay,
Maybe
so
that's
just-
why, because you're the only one on the different page. Signature.
Oh,
And then-
yeah. Okay, so just sign wherever I see
Yeah,
it.
just where you see it.
Well, I got a detail though. Baby Shine, I got one restaurant, I got six. I'm trying to sell it.
There you go, Larry.
Multiple?
Multiple. I don't think there's anything on the first page, but there's, but then on the next page, I think there's 2 spots. And
Oh, yeah, you're my super glasses.
Hey, Joey.
Enjoy.
Say the third, right?
yes.
You want to date yours?
Hmm?
Want to date yours?
Oh, yep. Sorry. Yeah.
I'll just put it in for you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, this is old. Sticking in his chair.
Oh.
I'm trying to sell that silver one, if I can sell it. I can't get that all for it. So, she's my personal choice.
That's it, right?
I think that's it. Maybe it was just
Well,
the
I
first.
think I can sell it. I think, I mean, if you look at that, then it's what she's got, it's a,
did you end up with
It is
an agenda?
unbelievable.
Oh, no, we got one now.
You did not.
Yep, that's why I knew that. We have minutes.
I was wondering about that.
I wasn't going to.
Well, I figured because of everything, I was like, maybe she was doing this year.
I wasn't going to, but then we thought, maybe it's make the house so better.
Yeah, well, they're really bringing something today. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
So
if you
it's
need
like,
to.
well,
yeah,
if it has,
I see one thing. One on the
I
market
know,
today.
what if-
I wish I knew somebody that.
I know, it's a great house for somebody who wants to live in.
Who's?
Roseanne Longwood. She lives over on Valentine Drive.
Oh,
It'd be a great house for somebody who wanted to downsize it. Check out to them.
Oh, yeah, it's for sure. Yeah. I know, I was telling that one.
They're signing some stuff and they're just going to chase them. Oh, yeah.
Look at my answer.
Yep.
They're looking for these jobs. Worth a shot, right? Yeah.
You've seen the minutes of the previous meeting. Any corrections or additions that we should be looking at?
I just think on the recess, to look at the dog park, we kinda left it open-ended, but we did discuss that we reviewed the options and wanted to be okayed by fire chief afterwards, cause
We were waiting for a response.
motion to
I can word
recess,
that differently.
motion to recess to go look at the spots. Something. Other than that,
Okay.
I'm being Peter.
Anything else, Larry?
Mm. Other than that, need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from May 6th with the one change.
With the correction?
One correction.
What was the correction? I forgot.
We're gonna just reword the,
Motion to
park.
recess to look at
Oh.
alternate dog
Yeah,
spots. Dog park spots.
Yeah, because didn't you guys, you actually did some measurements and things, right, out there?
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Right.
All those opposed? So moved.
So move on.
So then,
Joey?
he
Joey's
just stepped out for a minute.
For a moment.
Yeah. Sidewalk row?
Right away.
Right away.
Oh,
That's what I thought it was to be.
Listen, I said.
It's a hot day, we're out here for a
I
row.
looked at it myself and said, sidewalk roll? Oh, yeah, very well.
So according to Vaughn, there is no liability with the landowner giving consent to a right of way for a sidewalk or a road. And, so he's recommending that it's okay to sign, we have no liability.
We have no liability with it? Perfect, sign it.
okay.
That's what I
I
said.
have his
Let 'em
email
do it.
agreement.
Mm-hmm.
On condition a request for the RFB, is that the light?
Right. So we have asked for that. If it gets to a point, they can, and they're like, we want to anyway, so it's, they want to make it safer.
Yeah, like that's well, that's, they was in my green truck and I bought it. I'm running around town. This is the only one that I saw three down there. Right. Oh.
Oh, it doesn't need all of us anyways.
Just one?
It just says duly officer.
Well,
I think it would have all the select board, but
yeah,
I guess if you have one representing the select board, it's fine. Just have to have a motion.
Okay,
Do it.
we need a motion?
Yeah, make a motion to accept
Accept
it
it right away.
right away.
I'll move. I'll make a motion to sign the right of way for the sidewalk for the village to do what they gotta do.
Second.
All right, Ken, you've heard the motion on, the review on the right of way for the sidewalk for the, emergency, service building. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved. Okay, next on the agenda is, Joey Clark, our highway foreman, so step on up.
Joe, Joe's got some,
I do. Oh, yeah. Which one are you starting with?
oh, the paving, I guess, first.
There's just a couple papers. They're the same.
They're the same?
Yeah.
Doing a good job.
Come a little closer.
That one might be, it might have changed
It's
a
just the
little
one you
bit.
gave me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
3117150.
yeah, it dropped a little bit. It's 308, 998.50. So it drops a couple thousand. 308, 998.50.
That for 3 miles?
So it must be here.
No, that's that
Dropped a few thousand.
section on the stone house, that piece of dirt, and then that's also the Taylor Branch, just, picking up from where we left off
Oh,
last
okay.
year.
It does list them,
Yeah,
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
overlay up.
The first one is, there's a couple of spots on what they paid for us last year that don't look the way they should. Kinda come up a little bit, probably because it was done late in the year, so they're gonna fix that.
Oh, and
Where's
we don't
that
charge
on
for
Tyler
that.
Branch?
All top of the hill by Patrick's, by the barn, there's a couple
Oh,
little
yeah?
spots. I think there's one in front of your driveway there too, on the other side of the road, little spot there.
Oh, yeah.
Pointed it out to them and they're gonna fix it, they'll saw cut it,
Right,
it'll have
Oh, a little favor to yourself?
right.
Is it
Oh, yeah.
breaking up?
That'd be great. Ba-doom, right by my house. Ba-doom.
No, hopefully there won't be no bump.
I have one of those in between. It just has to, it says there's like a hole.
Yeah.
I can hear it.
We just get rid of mine
But it
last
only
year.
happens when people are driving too fast.
Oh.
Hear those feed trucks.
The empty ones, the empty ones are the worst ones.
Yeah.
When's that starting, Joey?
In September,
Oh, September.
yeah.
What about the other part of Tyler Branch? From the garage to the bridge?
That's gonna be another year, I would say.
Oh, is it gonna be another year?
That's why I'd like to, get that ARPA money in line for that. That's gonna take, the road's gonna take more work, plus it's gonna, I think it's like 350,000 or something just to pave that, just put the base in the top. Like we used to, I don't know, I had the numbers figured out before, I don't remember exactly, but. So I'd like to see that ARPA money secured for that.
There's nothing else.
Thank you. I know, it was the one.
Before we-
So, you need a motion on this? Or,
Well, let me
we've already-
explain, I've already talked with Dean about this, and because I didn't wanna wait, I had it for the last meeting, but you guys
Yep.
didn't have one, I didn't really wanna wait. I wanted to
Okay.
get her name, they're kinda calling me and bugging me, cause last year they did get to us late, and I put up kind of a fuss, and I think they wanna make sure they don't do us late this year, so the quicker. I can tell the foreman, yeah, we wanna do it, but until this is sent in, signed, they don't get you on the list, so the upper management sometimes pulls them away from projects and areas. That's what happened last year. They were set to come to us and like Berkshire, Fairfield, Sheldon, Duval, and then us, and then their upper management there pulled them away and sent them to New Hampshire for a couple of weeks or something, or do something. So
in a sense, you and Dean
we talked
signed
about
it
it,
and did it.
and yeah.
Good.
So
Okay.
and so we talked about talking to a couple others, and I said, well, he said probably just do it because you don't wanna wait around
Yep.
too long, and this is the actual one that I signed. I made some corrections. They had this down as a town of Berkshire, actually, so I changed it to Enosburgh. So that's actually the one I signed.
So with something like that, just on previous agreement,
For timeliness, get us on the list.
yep,
And I called Hutchins, and they never called me back. I'm sure they're busy. And
Pike Industries was the one chosen for the work to be done on the Tyler Branch Road and any overlays
That
and
is fine.
Stone House.
Taylor Branch and Stone House Road is Berkshire wrong. It says town of Enosburgh, everything's relevant.
so what I talked to Dean for is, especially, is the resurfacing budget we have is 100,000, and the paving fund we have 203, 8391. So that comes up the total between those two funds of 303,000. So it's gonna, we're at 311 before, so it's gonna put us up like $8,600 shy. But if you do the math, if they were to, I don't want to make it sound like they're going to try to do a half-assed job, but if they took skimped a little bit, they'd save 4 loads of blacktop. It would make up that amount of money. I explained that to them, that between our two budgets that were a little shy, and so that's when they redid. They went back to the drawing board and they took, I think, 80 cents a ton off, maybe, or
I think
the tonnage price.
So now
Yeah,
it's about 5,000 short.
Go on water, Jimmy.
80 cents.
Yeah, you're right.
It's 91.15. It was 91.95.
Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, 80. Yeah, sure. So I took 80 cents a ton off. It amounts to about a couple $1,000, so that kind of meets us part way. And me and Dean and I talked, and he said, well, maybe we could. He said, I think we should just go ahead and do it the right way. If we gotta maybe take some of the ARPA money or whatever to offset if there's some overage, or like I said, now at this point,
That would be my suggestion, yeah.
if they're to,
Sitting here.
just tighten things up and save 3 loads of blacktop between these two projects, probably make up the difference. And they seem, and it's an estimate. That's an estimate, so I'm sure it's figured a little bit high. So
Yep,
so it'll probably be safe, but.
okay.
Is this the same Joe Montang from St. Albans?
Yeah,
So I was just wondering that too, if it was
yeah. He used to run the plant in Swanton.
Used
Now
to-
his son runs a plant in Swanton, and he's out on the road so yeah, it used to be have a farm down there or something.
Yeah,
thought it was a
he used to be a
farmer.
selectman, dude. down
Yeah,
there.
right.
I don't know if he did or
Mitch
maybe his
is-
father.
Mitch and Dave are his brothers.
Okay, he's probably my age.
Yeah, he's the younger. Yeah.
He's a younger Trey, isn't he?
Yeah.
So we're all in agreement? Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I got pricing on equipment. I still can't get a price on the truck yet till the end of this month, end of June, first part of July. So I don't know what that's gonna be.
You know,
But this
guy,
is,
Joe.
I had the equipment dealer come up and talk about what we wanted. And this is the price he gave, 114,800.
That covers, looks like,
So it's plow in the wing and
all the
And,
wiring and the
yeah, the whole thing, it's all set up.
cutting edges.
Minus the truck, the cabin chassis. The cabin chassis is a separate piece.
Oh, so that includes the dump box and everything, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
So
So when they get that down there where you get the 1 ton,
Yeah.
they just get the cabin chassis and they put everything else on?
Yep.
Oh, no kidding.
They put it all together, assemble
Oh,
it
I
all,
thought
and
it came
paint
with
it.
like a box and stuff.
No.
So you can get this, but you can't get the
Well, I
truck.
can get it ordered. This is gonna take longer to get than it is the truck. According to the way things are going right now, this is like, they're saying 18 months.
Jeez.
well, I thought the trucks were 2 years.
No, they're like 18 months probably too, but you can't order it yet. So That's why it's
No,
about,
this is for actual truck replacement, it's a,
Oh, so it's not the
It wasn't
attachment
so
part.
much the big plow trucks.
Oh, okay.
yeah, this is
Yeah,
just the
it's just-
equipment on
yeah.
it, so the truck itself is probably gonna be a couple $100,000.
Because I thought you were talking about getting like the mowing parts for the tractor.
Oh, no, this
Tractor,
is,
this is a truck.
this is a
Okay.
truck, plow truck, yeah. Four plow, tandem plow truck. It's the dump body, the plow, the wing, all the
mud
attachments.
clouds, and
Yeah, painted, the wiring.
Flashing lights, everything, huh?
Yeah, that's everything. So they're, well, it's gonna be around pretty close to $300,000 all set up. That's what Berkshire's was 285 or 290 or something like that. So
yeah, Tony said.
this is probably, I called Berkshire to see if this will sound like a good, they couldn't remember for sure how much theirs was. It was around 100,000, they said, just a little over, but they couldn't really remember exactly, so. And so I talked to Dean about this as well, and told him I'm gonna talk about it at the meeting. I said that unfortunately, these guys are kinda like, they're the only ones in the state of Vermont right now. And they're in Williston, so they're close by, but before we dealt with Tenco out
I
of
was gonna
Barrie.
say, yeah, it was Tenco.
They're not even, they're not in Vermont anymore, they're in New Hampshire and New
New
York,
York.
so they're 3-4 hours away. And the way it sounded at first, that they weren't gonna do new truck builds in Barrie, just gonna do them in New Hampshire or New York, but you'd still be able to get parts and service here in Barrie. Well, that didn't end up panning out, they totally moved it out of the state, they shut the doors on the place in Barrie, Vermont, so.
Mm,
So to go and to look at a truck 3-4 hours away and tell them where you want stuff placed in the cab and stuff ain't too big of a deal. But if you got it for a few days. Oh, this isn't right. This isn't working, and you got to drive back down. Yeah, it's kind of way out of the way, and you know that's going to happen. Or it usually always does.
yeah,
So I can still get a price from Tenco if we want to just make sure that these guys are in line. But they kind of got you. They kind of got you. The way I see it. 'Cause
yeah.
we've always
You gotta
done,
be able to have that service.
we've always had Tenco equipment, and place in Barrie always set it up, but it's not really that option anymore. So
Why did they leave?
I don't know for sure. I'm sure it's probably money reasons. You know,
Or
Say
consolidated.
It's expensive to do business.
probably a corporate above them.
I
So,
Yeah, what it is it's called the Alamo Group, and they bought so there's HP Fairfield, Morrisville that did Everest equipment, and there was Tenco and Barrie that did Tenco equipment. Well, Alamo was a big corporation, bought both of those companies,
That makes sense.
and then decided we were gonna pull them both out of Vermont, and we're gonna consolidate them in our place in New Hampshire.
yeah.
Yeah, probably cheaper.
So New Hampshire is
Efficient,
really
more
where we're
efficient for
supposed to be
them,
doing
huh?
business, but we can call into Lakeville, New York, the Tenco place, and have them send us something. But of course, everything to do with plows is heavy. It's a hunk of iron usually, so
Yeah.
then you gotta pay freight. You know. But this place here carries a lot of the generic stuff of Tenco, so like plow blades and points.
Oh, they
Shoes.
interchange both of those
Yeah.
parts. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff, but some of the stuff is kind of like, that's a Tenco item. We don't carry that. We don't stock those because.
Yeah.
So then you got to call Tenco, and like I said, it's heavy, so you got to get it freighted up, and freight costs you as much as the part sometimes. Unless you want to drive 4 hours away, 3-4 hours away to go pick it up. So
So you need a motion on this?
I guess whatever
Let's
you
go
want to do,
ahead.
I can get a price from Tenco and just see if you want to make sure they're staying in line. Or
I mean, if that's what Berkshire, we were in line with them, then
I
I'd
think
say.
every town around has been buying Viking
Yep.
equipment now because Tenco's not here anymore. So.
Yep.
But I bet the cab and chassis is going to be another close to 200,000. I bet because it's going to be around 300 by the time this whole package is done. There's 114 of it already.
So we get a
Yeah, because
motion?
you're gonna be buying warranties too.
Well, that's another thing I talked to this guy, and he knows all about, because what they do is, he'll team up with like Charlie Boys and Clark's or Allegiance and stuff, and they'll do trucks together. Like they'll order a truck and he'll order the equipment, and
Yeah.
the Allegiance is actually doing it as a package deal, so he knows all about the whole business. So I asked him about if they lease trucks, because I know you guys had questioned that. He said, oh yeah, they do. But he said, whatever you do here, if you agree to this, you'll be giving it to Clark's or to Charlie Boys, wherever you're getting the truck from. Then they'll do the package deal. So you can custom order what you want, but it'll go to them.
Yeah.
So if that's something that you want to do, that you're thinking you want to do, of course we don't know what the pricing's going to be. I don't know how that will work. If we order this equipment and then we decide we're going to lease a truck, I would think that when it was all sugared off, instead of us paying for this, they're going to pay for it along with the truck, and then they'll say it'll cost you this much a month to lease it, if that's the way you wanted to do it.
And they're probably gonna add some to that too, I would assume.
To this?
Like Charlie Boys, I would assume, you know, I mean, like any other contractor, you always add a 15%.
I don't know if they would with this, because if we already bought it and have, you know, we get the number, if they went out and
Right.
took your, say, well, this is what we want, and then they went out and got it, and Viking quoted them this, they might then tack it on. But I guess they could, and we wouldn't know the difference, because
Right.
it'd be on the truck.
Right.
So I don't know if that's the way to do it or not. Leasing, but. So we're talking about different things, and he says that, yeah, he says, I think most towns have like a 10-year turnover. So it's kind of an easy number, like every 10 years, that's what we're gonna do. But he says, I think it's the worst time that you can do it. Cause he said the most time you can buy an extended warranty, like to 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
He said the manufacturers know they do that for a reason, because they know year 8 and 9 is gonna be the expensive year.
That's, yeah.
You're gonna put parts and money into it at 8 and 9 years, and then 10 years, now you've just put a bunch of money into it. So you either should have got rid of it before, or he says, as you're gonna turn out, you're probably gonna be a 12, 13-year-old truck by the time you get rid of it. He said you'll probably get some of your, I said, yeah, well, we'll probably be putting more money into it as time goes on too, 'cause.
Yeah.
So I think the early turnover is the way to go, if
Yeah.
you wanna be sure what you're gonna spend and not be spending anything on repairs.
Yeah, some of the thing with us with a chopper, after we kept it, we put $30,000 in parts the next year. It's like, that might be a payment
Yeah.
to,
Down
That's
payment, yeah.
to instead of having that old piece and sinking, and then who knows, it might be another 30,000 the next year.
Yeah,
Still old.
then when you're using it, it's like, oh boy, what's that noise?
The paranoid all the time.
What's gonna be
Yeah,
this, what's a good,
absolutely.
what is it this time? Yeah. So either way, I can get a price from Tenco, we can go forward to this, and I can find out, like if you do decide to lease, I think you could still order this under the town of Enosburgh, and then if we decide to lease, a package deal with the truck company, this would just, we wouldn't pay for it, go along, piece it together with the truck, and then the truck will have a price,
Mm-hmm.
monthly payment of whatever.
Is, you don't have to put any money down to order it, right?
No.
So I would say go ahead and
No,
order
even
it.
if you were to order it and,
You
you
could
know,
cancel
18
it out.
months before you even get it, and if it's here and the truck comes about the same time, that's perfect.
You making a motion?
Mine? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I heard.
Then if you borrow, or if you don't lease, I guess, and you borrow the money to buy it, it'd be another year before you make a payment, so you're talking about probably about 2 years, in the next
Yeah.
2.5 years before you make a payment.
Yep.
Couple of years anyway. Unless trucks start coming quicker than, what happened was, Clark's Allegiance, I keep saying Clark's, but they're Allegiance.
Yeah, yeah.
And Charlie Boys are all in the same boat. Is the majority of these trucks are being bought with automatic transmissions, and Allison is getting overwhelmed. So for whatever reason, they cut their production back by 40%. They just said we're cutting it back 40%. I don't know if it's a lack of help or what. So then it was like, wow, okay, well then, so we can't get transmissions, so you can't complete a truck without a transmission. So they said, well, see how many of these guys, as customers that are ordering trucks, that will be satisfied with a standard transmission. And we would be. Well, then Eaton Fuller, who makes the standard transmissions, the 8 double Ls, the 10 speeds, whatever they're all Eaton Fuller makes them. They said, whoa, we're not going to take on all that extra work either, so don't.
Oh.
We're only going to make so much and so fast.
Nobody wants to work anymore.
Yeah. So every truck, even like before when I talked to you, Clark's had trucks coming in that are ordered, like
Yeah.
package deals with Viking, all set up with equipment. Those have been bumped. They're not getting built the last quarter of this year. They're getting built the first quarter of 25. So even if we wanted one of those, we can't get it because it's not basically not even ordered yet. It was ordered and the orders have been canceled and bumped into the first quarter of next year. This is where it will be when we order a truck. It'll be the first quarter of next year. And by the time it gets built, it'll be probably in the fall of 25 before the truck's built. And then it's got to get to these guys and get set up, regardless of how you're paying for it.
Well, I don't see any harm in ordering this, because if you don't cost any money up front, and if it's something that down the road, something better comes up, at least you got this ordered.
And we need 2 trucks, so
And
we'll
that
use it on the truck.
and that happens because he was talking about one town had ordered a truck and they got the truck and the equipment was due to be out. Another town had canceled for whatever reason. They changed their order. So this town's truck came in and this other town canceled their equipment order and the equipment came in. They said, well, there, you can have this if you want it. So
Yeah.
they got their truck pretty quick.
Yeah.
Nice it worked out for somebody.
Worked out. Yeah. So he said, it's not a big deal if we were something was to change and we canceled because he can sell it to somebody else.
Yes,
18 months is a long time. Might as well.
Yeah.
Wait a second on that?
Sure, I'll second it.
Do we have a first?
I guess I first, I didn't formalize it and make a motion, but I said it.
He thought it was a good idea.
I guess I'll make a motion and make it legally.
So it's been moved and seconded that we work with Viking Kives for
Give us
equipment purchase for a new truck.
Viking.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved.
Viking Chevet, I think it is. This
That's how they say it? I wondered. I thought it was.
Viking Chevet.
I was like, what's it called?
So it's French?
Yep.
Well, and
All this
you
apply-
failed.
Well, I went.
All that stuff's made in
Tried.
Canada. Tenco,
Okay.
Viking.
It's not a French word I've ever seen, and I can read French.
That's how they pronounce it, is Chevet. Viking Chevet.
There's no A in it. That's just it. All right. What else we?
So the mowing last year got Steve Purley to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and I've talked to him earlier this spring and actually texted him this morning to see if he could start doing it next week. He said he'd probably have to bump his price up a little bit. He was $6,000 last year. I think he told me $6,800. He might have said 65, but I think he said 68. He said I think I probably bid it a little bit too low.
Is that once or twice?
That's once, but I'd like him to do it again. I want him to do it again
Yeah.
in September.
Yeah, I know right now they do need to be getting done, because even up in Bakersfield is pulling out a couple times, like, ooh, this stuff is
Yeah.
a dangerous height.
Even Tyler Branch, where everything's sliced down.
Last year I had him start the 12th, and so that would be like next week.
Yeah,
Next week would be the 10th, but same week. And when I did, it's like it grew back so fast. Like of course we got a lot of rain.
got
so
rain, yeah.
Like by the middle of August, it's like wow, we wouldn't even hardly know we done some of it. So I said, well, maybe next year I'll wait a week. But so I was thinking about waiting until another week, but it's like you said, they need to be done. So
Mm-hmm.
I did look in front of the house the other day there. It's pretty tall.
down in front of the guardrail, I
Yeah.
see you did that. Thank you.
I've been trying to keep the other side, my side, good too there. It's nice
Yeah.
ditch there. It's not
Yeah.
a lot to do.
6,800 or 65?
Yeah, I
Or
think he
times
told me
2.
68. Well, he said the second time, like, he could figure it out. He'd like do it by the hour. He won't charge it. It wouldn't be that much the
Oh.
second time.
Yeah, there might
Is
be
it-
areas that don't need it as bad.
Right.
yeah.
Probably had him do all the main roads, like the blacktop roads and the main dirt roads, but some of the, like a whole Enosburgh Mountain, stuff like that, probably won't have to be done again.
So how long do you think, or how long did he say that one,
It would take him to do.
to like do the first of everything?
I think it was like
Couple
10
weeks.
days last year, or
Okay.
something like that,
Okay.
10 to 14 days.
Mhm.
Depends, if he breaks down or,
Right,
or
but
rains,
yeah,
rains a
couple
lot there, he has to can't mow some days, but
Yeah.
it's a couple of weeks of time there.
100 hours maybe.
I had that figured
I
up
was just
last year, how many
wondering what
hours we
the-
put into it the year
Yeah.
before to kind of get an idea how much $6,000 was, and it seems like it was like about $90 an hour.
Yeah, that's probably in line.
I don't remember the numbers of the hours, but it seemed like
Yeah.
I remember thinking that was like figured out about. I looked back the year before because we did it with Berkshire's mower when we were teaming up with them, and looked how many hours we put into it and did the math, and it's like $90 an hour or something. I know he bought a new shroud for his mower. Within a day or two, he ripped that all up. Then he broke a window, had a rock or something come out and broke a window.
Oh, right.
Huh?
Broke a window in the tractor.
I think it was a back window or a side window. Back window, I think.
Yeah.
But that's not our fault, and he said it wasn't. It's not. It's just. Yeah, he said I don't think I charged enough last year, so I think he said 6,800. And if we have him do it again, maybe it'll be 2/3 of that, or
Right.
I would like to have him do it because it does by the time the end of August. It needs to be done.
It's way
again.
too late, yeah. Okay.
Need a motion on that?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion to hire Steve Burley to mow our roadsides.
One second.
You've heard the motion? Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right.
All those opposed? So move.
So the other thing is when we're talking truck and equipment and getting it in 18 months to 2 years or whatever. The grader's due to be replaced in 2 years. And I know we talked before, maybe swapping places. Cause you can get a grader like probably next week if you wanna take one they've got in stock, or if you order one, you get it in 90 days. So, I don't know if I haven't got prices yet, cause, he hasn't given them to me yet. He's probably will this week. So grader will be due in 2 years. This truck is due now. And we have a truck that's a 17, so in 27, that one will be 10 years old, so. To keep things broke up, I know we talked about switching places with a grader, because you can get it now and you can't get a truck now. So I don't know if you wanna do that or not, or have to get those prices and see.
Well, because payments won't be starting on anything, even,
Right.
you would have it next year. And with the 2 trucks needing to be ordered, neither one of those have a payment.
Yeah, we don't
Grader
have the
doesn't have
payments right
payment.
now.
So
Everything's,
you need to get something purchased to keep your payments going.
Yep.
So you're not all bunched up at
That's
one
what's gonna
point.
happen.
point,
You're gonna double down and you did say it's using a lot of oil now, so I think it's kinda high.
I can put 2 quarts a day in it pretty
What,
much.
what would you think you'd do with the grader you have?
Well, he come up the other day to look at it to see about a trade-in price. So I don't know.
I
Normally
think
we're
your
in
best bet's gonna trade it in, because nobody
Yeah.
around here's gonna wanna buy it.
right, we're in the habit of selling our stuff, the trucks and the loader, which there's a demand for that around here, but there's not a demand really for.
Yeah, let's see what he could get for a trade in there, cause there might be some farmers around that might wanna play around with something like that.
Yeah, well, it's got that, if the mower went with it, I'm sure you'd use that,
Yeah,
grade your roads.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
But would he give you trade-in with and without the mower?
He said if the mower, he told me the other day, if the mower wasn't gonna add value, we could take the mower off and keep it and put it on a tractor if we wanted to.
Oh, it would fit on a tractor?
It's made to go on a tractor, but it's been
Oh.
fabricated to fit the grader, so I don't know what would have to be done to reverse all that, but
Okay,
it's made to go on like a 200 horse tractor on a big tractor.
yeah.
In fact, it came with like the kit when we got that came with like a Lexan window for a John Deere whatever model tractor. I forgot now what model it was. That we still got at the garage.
You would wanna put that on the new grader?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't, we thought it was good
It
back
works
then,
super
but-
good. I mean, it works good. It's just sometimes not practical to have it
Well,
on.
you're
there.
taking one away, but if you need the mower and the grader, you're kinda screwed, right?
That's why we
Well,
talked
I'm just
about.
thinking, at some point, I think we should look at a tractor, and then you could get yourself a mower tool besides
Yeah.
that brush hog, where you wouldn't have to be hiring Steve Furley.
Right. You have like a regular, like when I hear Fairfield, I haven't seen it, but they got a good setup, I guess, by the sound. They got a regular mower to mow like the first swath of grass, but it's got a boom mower on it too, so.
Yeah,
And the
John
state
Deere.
often has their sales after
Yeah.
they've used their equipment a little bit. And you can go online or go to an auction and buy one and it's all set up. And it, they're gently used.
Yeah,
And for as much as they're going to use it,
yeah, those
it's probably
roadside
the
mowers.
perfect solution.
Yeah.
That, or we might even have a local farmer that, could lend us a piece of equipment.
Donate an old tractor.
Well, not so much donate it, but,
I know some Sabani Fords,
rent it out
you
because,
have to put an umbrella over your head. Keep the sun off you. Oh.
yeah,
No,
see,
having that on the grader has, in a way, it's been a super good thing, cause we cut a lot of brush with that thing. And it does work super good,
It does
'cause
work
it's,
good.
it's heavy, the grader's heavy and it handles it fucking good. It's just having it on the grader, you can take it on and off, but it's not practical to do that, so we left it on there, and then having it on there isn't necessarily practical when it comes to doing some stuff with the grader, so.
Right.
The ideal thing would be to have it on a tractor where that's what its job is for.
Well, even if it doesn't add any value, we might as well keep it, have it around, in case we do decide to put it on a tractor or something.
Yeah, I don't know, I could see that thing adding value to that, because you go up in Maine, up in the logging country up there, they use those mowers on excavators and whatever. That's not an unheard thing. You go on YouTube and Google that. They're in Canada, and then
Yeah.
where they have mowers like that on graders a lot. And I think they're like an old grader, they stick a mower on it, and that's the basic job for it, is mowing brush, but you can use the grader, the blade as well, but.
I think it might be harder. It seems to me, I'm just uneducated, but if that was specific to that grader, it might be too hard to fabricate it to fit a more modern tractor, because it's
It would definitely.
almost 20 years old.
Yeah, it came with a kit to fit it like a John Deere or whatever, like I said, I don't remember what model tractor. And then they fabricated that to adapt to the grader, and whoever did it did a super job. The fabricator did a beautiful job. I mean, it was just like factory when he was done, what they did, so I don't know how much changing it would have to be to actually
Right.
fit. What they did is they fit those attachments that went on a tractor to the push plates of the wing for the grader,
Yeah.
in the rear and on the belly. So the push plates that were for the wing, so that you could take this attachment off and then put the wing on, which we have done.
Oh, gotcha.
So it was cut and remodeled and refabricated to fit the grader. No, I don't think it was it works good, and it's like, well, that's why I talked about before, maybe I ought to keep the thing, and you'd have an extra grader blade to use, and you'd have that mower, but then again, it could nickel dime you pretty heavy too, especially with the motor getting a little tired, because I still have this overheating issue where if I can keep the radiator super clean, I can keep it from getting up into the red and alarm coming on or something, but it gets high in the green.
It needs to go, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
it's
it
time.
has something.
It's time.
They said that
Or it has
the
something
motor's
terrible
probably
on
getting
it.
tired and it's working harder,
Yeah.
and that's why it gets like that. We replaced the water pump, thought it was a water pump, thermostats, drain and flush the radiator, inside, outside.
Are you gonna
It's a lot better, it's better, but it's not the
Yeah.
way it used to be. It used to stay like midway of the green and never move all day long, no matter what temperature was out. A day like today, it's like, if you're to grade from all the way up top Enosburgh Mountain,
You gotta do a
Captain
Mexican
O'Hare.
siesta before you get.
Last stop, take a little break or something.
Are you sticking with the same brand?
I would think so. I mean, John Deere or Cat, you can't go wrong with either one. Caterpillar is usually more expensive. You could get a price, but I know they'd be more expensive. I almost guarantee it. Parts and service are super good. So he hasn't given me any pricing yet, and he hasn't given me any trade-in value, whatever it should be. And so I was just checking into it because we might swap places. He said that there's another. He said this truck holdup, he said, is actually helping me sell equipment. 'Cause he said a lot of towns are doing that. He said
Yeah.
there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
town last year.
Can't bunch up our payments. Like
Same
that.
thing. They're due for a truck. They couldn't get a truck for 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. So they bought a grader instead of the truck.
Yeah, they're
And
gonna
then
be,
buy the truck.
they're gonna be a smart move. Okay, cool.
So I'll have the numbers of that then. And Bethany's going to be coming the next time.
She is. There's some struggles with getting some reimbursement from the sand and salt shed, from what I'm understanding. Is that a way to put it?
It sounds that
Because they
way.
don't seem to think that if you're not gonna follow through with the complete project, that they may not reimburse us. And they're gonna be looking for to pay back the federal. But Bethany's already said she'd write the letter. She said that in the end of the project. She'd write the letter to say the reasons why we shouldn't have to pay back, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that part is different for the federal part, but the state is frowning upon the stoppage of the sand and salt shed. So she's gonna come next meeting and lay it all out, and they're going to be looking for a path forward from you guys of what your intentions are, either to continue or to stop completely. So
So,
you're gonna have to start thinking about that.
so that's with V-Trans, right?
Mhm.
Can a V-Trans person come with her? So we can put them on the spot
I
too?
think you can ask
That
for
John
Stanley.
Lemieux, he's the project manager. He
Because-
probably could, but I don't think he's the one that's going to give you the answer.
Yeah,
It's about him probably, because she referred to him and he answered back saying
so I gotta
that.
talk to the governor.
Yeah, he'd be a good place. Yeah.
Rub some elbows with him.
It wouldn't hurt.
I heard you speaking at Dairy Day.
You did?
Why, I was over at Chicken Barbecue. I said, "That's Larry Jarvis talking." I couldn't tell the
I
voice.
tried to listen, but I was
I see
people
you.
the way. Yeah, I know.
I saw
Oh, you
it.
were
I heard
talking
it
on
was
the
very good
bandstand?
though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they
yeah?
put me on the spot and I told them, I said, I got 0 time to do a, we're all out in the field. It's like,
Alright.
I got 0 time to do a speech or put a speech together. But
I heard it was
I didn't hear what
I
you were
really-
saying, but I could hear the voice. So
yeah.
I said, "Ah."
Well, I told them, I said at the end, glass and milk takes community because the community backs is the infrastructure.
Absolutely.
It's like you gotta have it all. You guys, the firemen gotta, you know, if you have a fire, ambulance, insurance, every hardware store, you don't have all that stuff. Hard to make that glass of milk.
Yeah.
And I think it connected with some people that not dairy people or don't understand. Oh, you just come eat milk.
Yeah.
Takes more than that.
I said, "Ah, can't be the governor can come. He called Larry up for
That's the
Well,
next best
what
thing.
we got was
Number
it
two.
was when John Over was the other John Over and Emily Bordeaux, the 3 speakers. They wanted to get away from the politicians being a voting year.
Oh,
They
okay.
didn't want
Yeah,
that. That's what they would have pushed, you know. And it would have been,
probably just as well.
and it's like, oh, you know what? That's good. And it's better, I think, more local.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's about dairy, it's not about politics. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, it wouldn't hurt to talk to somebody that
Somebody that can help
got some
somebody.
leverage because
Well, to me, it's just to them. It's like, oh, why don't they do the project? Well, they need to know when the project started what they were putting in was 80 to 85% of the project. But you guys, at the end, were only at 50% or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
because the project grew
You
out
don't
of
wanna
control.
stay the percentage, you don't wanna do percentage,
Yeah.
that's what they need to understand.
And they also have to change the way in which they do their bidding, because from what I saw, and this is just me looking and listening to stuff in my office, they had all these people coming in, and they had their bids, and the winning bid, some of those people knew that some of that stuff was missing.
Yeah,
And they knew that that's all they had to do was a change order, so they can underbid based on their actual verbiage
Right.
in those bid packages. The honest people were the higher ups.
Mhm.
So then you take the lower ones, they leave out all that stuff and they're giggling to themselves going, well, we're gonna have a change package coming along. And then it destroys us,
The
the
budget,
taxpayers, and the whole budget for the thing, and they can get away with it. That's not right. Somebody should be on the hook besides the town for that stuff
Oh,
that's
for sure.
that's left off those things.
I
That's
think
not a
it
fair
happens a
thing
lot
to
too,
do.
because I've heard contractors say before, like fairly good sized contractors, that they make more money on change orders than they do on the
And I
project.
think that's why
so-
it's mum's the word. And, I mean, they did this one to us, 3 times, and nobody said anything,
Right.
and they saw it all.
Right.
Well,
And the
I
concrete
think
guys saw
Berkshire, they're having to
The
go out to
concrete guys
vote
saw it.
because they
I mean,
didn't have
look
enough
at the
money for their
plans and said,
project, so
no.
they're going to the voters now because it came, something was
So
wrong
why
with
didn't the
calculations there.
engineers do that?
It happens too much,
mhm.
and it's screwing the taxpayers.
But we started,
But yeah, you gotta do,
Looking
you
at
gotta hire an
100
engineer to design this for you.
the town was gonna
Isn't it
basically
good?
put in 150, 170,000
Yeah,
up front. That was all the quotes that were given and stuff, and then as it's going along, we're at 500,000 now.
yeah,
How did it go from that to this? And now you don't wanna reimburse us because they would probably have had us up to $750,000 before the project was done.
yeah.
And the state should be responsible because they're making you hire these engineers, and the engineers are saying they're not responsible. Then why are we hiring them? Because we have good local people that could figure this stuff
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Building a building is not a big project, it's not a big deal.
It's not fair to the taxpayers. It's not fair.
And I sound like a broken record, but I said that about that whole program. The first ridiculous thing is having to hire a design engineer to design that. When the state of Vermont is built, there's 2 of them right over here, at least in that area.
Right.
Might not be
Over
exactly the
200
right size
towns.
that
There's
we
probably over
need, but
200.
there's
It's
one
the
that
same
there is.
principle, it's the same
Same
layout,
principle.
it's the same.
Stretch it
They
out.
need to come
And
up with
whatever
a few
change you
designs and let
have,
us pick
they
one.
basically go to your program and hit a few keys and it spits it out, and here's your
Yeah.
$15,000 change,
Yeah,
you know, that took them 2 minutes to do, and that's what happens.
yeah, I mean.
All
even-
you municipalities out there, please take note.
They built so many that they should have a package where they can
Well,
just
I
have
would
somebody
think
go
so.
in and pick one, and then you go home and
Well,
you
the
tell your
state-
people, this is, we're gonna build
The
this.
state has probably already had their own people, engineers, design these buildings, there's a set of plans sitting somewhere that are the building that we wanna have, and all they gotta do is, if they sell them to the town and say, well, we're not just gonna give it to you, we're gonna charge you $5,000 for this set of plans, or,
Yeah.
which would be a lot of money, but,
So is Bethany looking for on the 17th to say either we're completely finished or, I mean,
She's
is she
looking-
looking for a final
yeah,
decision?
they're gonna be looking for, what do I wanna say, what's your
What-
path forward's
yeah,
gonna be.
That is exactly what they're looking for. They're
What's it gonna be?
She's gonna,
If you say we're just
Basically,
gonna
kind of
abort the whole
putting
thing,
you
we're
on the
never
spot.
gonna do it, then I don't know. If
and
they're
they're gonna want an answer sooner than later. And it's a big decision because of basically the
Well-
hell you just went through last year.
Well, first of all, you can't do what they've got planned. I mean, you gonna start digging down there in the ground again?
You're gonna have the same-
Yeah, nothing's gonna change.
Yeah, that's, nothing gonna change there. You can't do
The only
what
thing
they've
that's
got
gonna change is
designed.
we're gonna start
Not
all
there.
over again with the water problems
Right. All
and the
that.
neighbors' problems.
And that's the whole problem with this project. They knew all this stuff, well, they bid themselves into this, the engineers. And now, in effect, to get out of it, they want the municipality to pay any changes.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys should
Or
absorb.
with somebody else.
Unless you could buy land going that way and move that all down
Well, I was gonna
like a
say
quarter of a
that,
mile,
maybe we could buy a
there's,
couple acres from Greg there or something and move it that way.
there's no way to do it in the place that it's at.
No?
No, I think
I mean,
that,
if it's that simple, it's that simple, I guess.
I think that raises a question is like if, can't talk about some of the stuff we've been talking about in the executive, but, how's the highway department gonna change over time?
Right, that's, you know, so if you
Is it
say,
gonna change?
if you say no to it now, but work on
You know what I'm saying?
expanding it
Is that ever
someplace
gonna
else.
happen? If that happens, then should we be there?
Right?
Should it be a new location? Maybe,
Get that new
But where are you gonna put it here? We
yeah,
don't
where are you
own
gonna put it?
any
You got a
land.
piece of land. Where are you gonna put it?
We literally
Exactly.
don't own any.
Oh, I know we don't, but I mean, I've always had my area picked out, so
Where is it?
I think it's probably something
Center?
Larry owns.
it's what Larry owns.
Oh.
He's been shopping on your property.
So after you donate that tractor, we'll take some land.
Maybe we'll get the land
No
first.
wonder you spoke it very
You're gonna be the mayor.
Okay.
But you know, that's something I think you need to talk about, cause yeah, that would be perfect for us, is up the center, but if this other thing I'm talking about ever happens
Mm-hmm.
together, then maybe that's not the place for it.
Well, they're
Right.
at a,
Well,
they're at a room here in the city center.
No, but I mean, not at the center, but I don't know.
Right.
Over on the Davis Road,
But what about where you are
in front of
now?
the cemetery.
Pat Hayes' area, you own that field too, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Jarvis land.
It's all
It's all
I know
all
it's
under land trust,
I know it's in land trust, but
the whole farm.
Yeah.
and
But-
we didn't put it in. We never got the benefits of all that, but
No.
So question, Joey,
Yeah.
just a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Where you are now, if the nice farmer man next to you was willing to sell a few acres,
Yeah.
would that help in the long-term project? Has anybody ever approached him to ask him?
I think he would. And I know something he definitely would do is buy that's there now. He has said that.
You buy what?
What
there?
we've got, if we didn't
because
relocate,
there's value to that for a
He said-
farmer.
he
Hey,
said
that's my
that-
shop.
but I'm sure, you know, it depends upon the parties or
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
But, I
yeah,
don't
the thing
know.
is that if you were to move up the road, it would be so-called going towards Sheldon on the right-hand side. Because we wouldn't want it on the left-hand side because we're back in the valley.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that valley, right there doesn't really flood. Right there, you're just
Well,
moving down.
We'd have to see what the map is.
well, it probably, you get down in that meadow
Into
much,
the
I
corner.
bet you're floodplain there.
Yep.
Cause our yard is floodplain. Our driveway
About a
is
year
floodplain.
flood, yeah.
Actually, the
Yeah.
garage is in floodplain, you couldn't
Yeah.
build that there today.
No, because, and why I'm thinking over on that, right-hand side is because
So I guess
there's some potential gravel.
it seems like the answer's kind of almost simple. If nothing can really be done there, then the project is kind of done. If you're not committed to staying there, moving it down, trying to see what you can own, or if you already
Well-
know it's in the floodplain, it's kind of it is dead in the water, because you're not gonna relive what we had last year,
Right.
and then you just have to say, okay, we're not gonna do it, where do we go from here?
I guess if you were to
And then
totally
you start looking
relocate,
for a relocation place.
yeah, you could build that same set of plans, that same building in a different place probably. Or, like you said, down, away from down in the field maybe. I don't know, there's a lot to have to be figured out.
Matter of fact, over by Donnie had the log cabin,
Ain't you?
Dr. Welch's land.
but Paul
Jim
Gomes, you know,
You probably only have the acre, all that land around it is owned by Dr. Welch's family. Talking about on 108?
yeah.
Yeah.
Across from
Jim
Promise?
Welch's property.
Oh,
on
Stebbins
the
doesn't
house.
own that?
Dr. Welch.
Oh, wow.
Stebbin Hayes.
He's got a lot of property then.
He does, he has like 500 acres. And he recently died.
I mean,
so
that's
it's
not
his
ideal spot for the town really, but I guess it'd be the happy medium if there was something.
Yeah, you kind of need to look at take your maps out and say, here's my miles of dirt road, and I'm going to be paving whatever next. So, is it going to be smart to keep? All of a sudden, I don't have dirt roads over here, but my old garage is here,
Yeah,
and then we're bringing everything back and forth.
yeah. Definitely the center of town is the center of town. It's probably a good spot, but it's not necessarily ideal to get maybe deliveries there, salt deliveries, you know, in the right
Right.
time. And if we're talking about getting together with down here, then I don't think that would be the ideal spot, is up the center, cause you gotta, there's a lot going on down here.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's good. I'll sleep on it tonight. I'm gonna work on that piece of property.
I'm just saying, that's the thing to think about, I think, is to look down the road 30 years or
I
whatever.
think you're right, Joey. I think
Where's the
you have
future
to
gonna
say,
be?
okay,
Is
we're
this
not
gonna
going to be
happen?
doing anything here, cause there's no sense in dumping $1 million into such, and if you're thinking about moving.
Well, we
even
said
five
that,
years.
But then, yeah, but then if you are thinking about that, this money still is in play. He's at a different location.
cause you can't build that to that set of plans where we wanna do it.
No.
You'd either have to move down the line, away from it far enough, and I don't know how far that is. How far do you have to get now through there before you're not? You could dig down, you could move 200 feet down there and still hit water down to a certain level there. Say, oh, we're still draining it.
Yeah.
And it's not the ideal spot, it is a dangerous intersection, there's been a lot of close calls there, we've never had a wreck there, but there's been a lot of wrecks there
I've seen a
over the
few
years.
close things, like,
Mhm.
yeah.
We've had a lot of close calls, like where you come out and nope, we're gonna stop and back up, or you pull out in front of somebody and you make somebody mad. It's better now than when the old townhouse used to be there, it was a lot worse,
Yeah.
but maybe that's the thing, is to figure this all out before we do anything, for sure. But if we need to, if we're gonna do something right where it is, where the pile is now, then I think it needs to be on top of the ground. Concrete blocks and a hoop barn of some sort, a lot simpler, cheaper, but that's not following their plans, so.
That's yeah, exactly.
And I don't know how that would work. Maybe they say, well, at least if you do something,
Mm.
we won't make you pay the money back. But if you gotta follow those plans, it can't be done
But
there.
there's been other towns that are doing the hoop one, so it must be they're allowed.
Yep. Did you ever find out how Ripton turned out? Cause that's what they were doing.
They were kind of stalled, they got it mostly done, but there was quite a few things that did not get finished, and paving didn't get done, and the building itself wasn't finished. At that time when I talked to her back in March, it wasn't finished. And that was supposed to be the easy one to go with, but it wasn't finished in March.
You know what this guy's doing?
All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Thank you, Joey.
Thanks.
Yep. Yep,
Enjoy the rest of the evening.
thank you.
What do we?
So I have this, and then the rest of that stuff I have is executive. I mean, they're workshops.
Over here, must be.
I don't know where that came from.
Oh, you know
No,
what,
that's
she,
where yours are.
It
Shady
wasn't
brought
mine,
it
there you go.
over here,
They're also
both
showing
of them
mine
are over
as
here,
well.
yeah.
So remember when Jesse had set up public hearings, to change the village designation up by the Spalding Cured area, we had looked at that. So this is just saying that yes, we did that
See you later.
See you later.
See you, Joey. Thank you.
probably a month and a half ago, and you're just saying, yes, we've already followed this procedure, but now here's our signature on it. Regional planning needs a signature.
So
You've already agreed to it.
we've already agreed to it. So
You just
so
didn't have
do we need a motion then? Because we've already agreed.
No,
So we'll
you've
just
already
sign
agreed
it.
to it. You just need to sign it.
All right. Here, sign.
See your mom the week
Anything?
earlier today.
Oh,
Anything else?
Then I just
Yeah.
have exactly that.
yep,
Oh.
yep, she did say this stuff.
You got anything
Yeah,
open?
that was in
or-
Richford,
The week was
in Enosburgh.
Enosburgh, the funeral.
So we got a motion to go into executive session as per.
I'll move to go into
Yeah, we're
executive.
a lot on.
You got a second?
No second.
All those in favor signify by.